How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Too bad.
That's good. We're here to talk today about your movie Comeback.
Yeah.
What was the process of filming like as opposed to doing a film clip or preparing for a tour or something?
Would I be pedantic to say, strictly speaking, it isn't my movie. I'm just an actor in it. Right? Can I say that without being pedantic?
No, but you're the star.
Well, yeah. Well, kind of. It's a 12-minute movie. They don't really have stars. They only have like a little twinkle. You can't really go to someone and go, I'm starring in a 12-minute movie. You know what I mean? It's sort of the idea that it's only 12 minutes sort of negates the idea of a star.
All right.
It's not what people are going to expect it to be, and it's sort of saying it's a comedy is... It's not quite a comedy. It's sort of it's got a really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. I would never have dreamt something up like this myself. It's sort of nothing really much happens. It's about this old rocker. He's more from the 70s even than 80s like me. And a long time ago, his wife ran off with Tom Jones. And he got there was a huge gig, a festival, just at that very same time his wife ran away. And when he went on stage, he got stage fright and was booed off stage. And he hasn't been on stage since. And now it's coming up. He's decided to come back out of retirement and do a gig and lured out of retirement. And it's kind of all about his sort of despair and then his triumph. It's kind of a bit of a lovable goose.
Yeah, I've seen the teaser on YouTube. Is the movie basically you sitting there talking most of the time and then your obsessed neighbour coming in? And
No, it's not that. That thing you're seeing there is that's an extra kind of. It's not the movie itself at all. It's me and Sajavka. After the movie was made, then Sam Sajavka and I sat around and just were being silly when we were talking like we were the characters and just making up dialogue. But the movie isn't like that. No, I sound a bit harsher there than I am in the movie. It isn't really like that. But it's a kind of, he's a kind of a silly character, but he's sort of lovable, and he has strange relationships. There's an old groupie chasing him who turns up, and he gets rid of her. He doesn't like her. And then there's his son and daughter turns up, and he loves his daughter and he hates his son. And they have this ridiculous photo session. And then finally, Snake, his old faithful roadie, comes to drive him to the show, and they have a bit of thing that goes on between them. And and then he has his crisis of faith. And then his roadie points to his gold record and says, "You're a legend." And they both go out the door and his hit single, which is just a song written by me, but sort of supposed to be his hit single, starts to play, and he goes off and hears it's sort of like triumph, this guy's triumph.
yeah, the hit singles, You're the 101 Girl.
Girl, that's right. Which is not my title, by the way. It was suggested by Bernadette. She said, Steve, go away and write a song called You're the 101 Girl. So I thought it's just so funny. First of all, it's grammatically wrong, because you would say you're the 101st girl. And then you imagine this shabby gentleman counting women, and suddenly he's got the 101, which is bad enough, and then suddenly he announces it to the girl, hoping she'll be pleased with it. And the lyrics are all it's kind of like, it's like a stumbling idiot guy trying to make this girl feel good, but everything he's saying is actually terrible. And then he goes, you're the one, you're the one, you're the 101 girl. And there's all these trumpets and nice things playing along like he's really saying something nice. It's really an awful song. I don't know how long the drive is, but we're having our premiere and it's free and it's in a bar. So what's happening is you can come down and see the premiere of this 12-minute movie called Comeback, and you can watch the movie, you can go out and have a drink and then go home, or you can go back in and watch it a second time or a third time.
Is that on the Thursday the 19th?
That's the one.
At the Loop at 23 Myers Place in Melbourne?
Yeah. Yes. How long does it take to get from Ballarat to Melbourne?
Oh, it's only just over an hour now.
An hour?
Just about an hour and 10 minutes.
It's a bit rough driving an hour and 10 minutes to watch a 12-minute movie, but, you know.
Are you going to be there on the Thursday night?
I'm going to be there, and I'm going to do a Q&A.
Bernadette Keys is the filmmaker. Did she write the movie?
Yes, she wrote it, directed it, produced it, and kind of dreamt it all up and sort of worked like putting so much concentration into it that she was just like all focus. Yeah, it's her baby.
And you mentioned the thing on YouTube was an ad-lib. Is there any of the movie that's ad-lib, or is it all following the script?
Well, it's kind of, there's a script, and then as we sort of got into character more and sort of Bernadette, it was all kind of, they were evolving before our eyes. Sometimes Bernadette and I would go, hey, I think Bobby might say this, and she'd go, yeah, you're right, try that. And sometimes we had a few different variations on a theme, and then in editing she kind of chose the one she wanted to use. But it wasn't an ad-libbed thing like that thing between me and Sam Sajavka. Bernadette said, go on, just be in character and have a conversation, I'm going to film you. But no, it's a proper script with a proper kind of, and because it's going to be entered in short film festivals, it has to do certain things, and one of the things it has to do, a short film has to do, according to the judges or the criteria of the short film festivals, it has to establish characters and their the way they interconnect very definitely within that short time. And when you think about it, that's quite a daunting task. So you've got 12 minutes and you've got to present a whole bunch of characters and show that they all have complex kind of interweaving paths and their conflicts and their pleasures and their complaints against each other. That's quite a hard thing to do. And with this film, she has really pulled it off. We see this kind of comical, half sort of silly guy, Bobby Birdhouse, and his horrible groupie coming around pestering him, and his kind of his daughter, who's a hypochondriac, who he's really worried about, who'll never get married because she can't meet a guy, and then his son, who's kind of metrosexual, fiddling around with a mobile phone all the time, and sort of treading on the father's toes and saying rude and things and burping and stuff, and they have a real falling out, and then the daughter has a kind of a panic attack, and then Bobby and the brother get all concerned, and finally the silly old roadie comes round, and he's sort of seen better times, but these two guys really love each other, but it's in a kind of a master and servant way. And when Bobby sort of snaps his fingers and says things, the Snakes really looks, the roadie, who's called Snake, which I reckon is brilliant. And to get into character, Sam Sajavka, who's a brilliant playwright, to get into character as a method actor, he turned up and drank a few bottles of Southern Comfort and Coke, and he was this roadie. He was this old Aussie roadie, smoking cigarettes and drinking Southern Comfort, so sunk down on a couch in a Melbourne flat on a cold afternoon, and his master is about to make a comeback, and he's kind of like, he's there to tell the guy he works for, but it's a funny relationship. But all these things are established very quickly, and you very quickly, you know what I mean? And that's hard to do.
There's a rumour online that it could be made into a TV series. Would you be involved if it was?
Oh, yeah, that's what we really hope. That's what we really would love. And we're kind of looking at this as a pilot because there are not endless, but there is at least a 10 TV episode series for this. Definitely.
And so you really enjoy the acting? It's not the first short film you've made, is it?
No, I've done bits and pieces. I really do enjoy the acting. Yeah. It was this was a really good one. I could really enjoy if someone said, take 3 months off, you have to play Bobby Birdhouse and sort of inhabit this sort of grotty flat in Melbourne with all this stuff hanging around, sort of, and with just. I could really enjoy that. I could immerse myself in that character with pleasure, because it's strange to look at yourself on a film and you can see the character and you can kind of like some of the things he does and not like other things. I think in that way all the characters really came to life. Yeah.
Your latest blog, I noticed you're preparing with the church to do a tour with Simple Minds, Devo and the Models.
Yeah.
Is it like going home, getting back with the church in the studio and the rehearsal rooms?
No, we don't really enjoy that much. Playing live on stage with the church is one of the best things I know. Going in a rehearsal room with them is one of the worst things I know. So I hate rehearsing. I hate rehearsing with anybody, and this bunch of guys rehearsing, it's a pain in the arse, believe me. So I just wish I could just teleport at the first gig and walk on and I'm ready to go, and bang, we hit them with the first song. All those bloody rehearsals.
I actually saw a thing on YouTube about one of the keys in Milky Way being wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Are you talking about when we recorded it?
Yeah, there was one chord or something that was out of key and you didn't realise it for years.
There was one, on one pass, he sometimes played another chord. It wasn't out of tune. It just modified the chord and gave it a strange sound that kind of got lost in the mix almost, but you can, when you hear it, it's there. And that's the reason why no one who ever plays that song without doing that, including us, will ever make it sound exactly like the record, because there's a kind of a masked, stray note that is changing things.
Right.
That's how I would put it. It wasn't really sort of thought about at the time what was going on. It does sound. It's not what it was meant to be. It actually sounds good, but no one ever thought about why it sounded in that particular way good. It's just a random thing, and it's kind of one of the things that makes the song, I think. That's why no one else can ever play it, because of that mistake. And one of the members only actually tried to find out why it was happening, and then figured out what had happened.
One of the bits of magic that happens when a band's in a studio.
Yeah.
I'll just give out your website, thetimebeing.com, where you've got all your art and your blogs and all your projects listed.
Yep.
And good luck with the film.
Thank you very much. I hope it works out for you being able to come.
I hope it does too. And
okay.
yeah, I look forward to saying hello to you if I get there.
Please do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.